Hey there. Right now we are in the middle of a lot of sitting and a lot of computer and phone work. So that means tight hips, tight chest, sore shoulders, and very long stretched out backs of the neck. I'm going to go through a follow along video with you right now to help stretch out those areas and hopefully bring some relief to your tight hips, tight chest, and sore shoulders and neck. All you're going to need is a yoga strap or a mini band or some sort of belt or scarf that you can tie around your wrists, and an elevated surface like a chair, a couch, or honestly even the wall. So the first thing you're going to want to do is, if you have a yoga band, you're going to make a yoga strap, you're going to make it about 8-10 inches wide, maybe the hip width of your hips or hip bones, or you could just use a mini band. Either way, you're going to take that strap or band, I'm going to use my strap here, and you're going to start by putting your hands in it behind your back like handcuffs. You'll know it's too tight if you really feel like you're being pinned together, and too loose if you can't let your hands kind of hang back behind you without it falling off. So from here, you're going to push your wrists against it and press your chest forward while keeping your ribs tucked in. So think ribs and hip bones stay together here. And my chest goes forward as my arms pull back and start to rise up. Hold this for a few seconds along with me. And then with a slight bend in your knees, hinge your hips and lean forward as far as you can, letting the torso come down and the arms come overhead. Hang here just for a moment or two. You're going to be stretching the backs of the legs and the front of the chest. Stand up, get that strap out of the way, and we're going to take our hands out, put them together in the front, and you're going to reach your arms up overhead. Keep your shoulders away from the ears. These are enemies, ears and shoulders, not good friends. Keep your ribs and hip bones tucked in together, and reach the arms up while pulling the shoulders down, making some space in between the arms and the neck. Hold here just for another breath or two, and relax. Now you're going to come back to that handcuff stance. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. And from here, with your arms behind you and your chest going forward, you're going to take a really wide stance. You're going to take your left foot and face it all the way to the left side of the room, and your right foot is going to go in at a 45-degree angle. From here, we're going to do what's called triangle pose in yoga, but basically you're keeping both of your legs grounded and straight, pulling back on those arms so you have some nice stretching of the front and opening of the front of the chest, and then you're hinging. I'm not curling, but I'm hinging, I'm leaning, pulling my head and my upper body towards the wall on my left side as I hinge down, pulling my chest open, keeping that right shoulder back, leaning over my left leg, and you can see my side body here on the left is nice and straight. Pulling that chest open, hinging, and then stand up. Shake it out for a second. This time, we're going to bend the left leg as you go forward. So bend that knee and send your knee over the center of the foot. Don't let it fall in and don't let it go too far out. You're going to go straight over the center of that foot while the chest opens and you hinge the body, leaning, leaning, leaning. And maybe you can even rest your left shoulder on your left thigh and pull that right shoulder back and open. You're using those handcuffs to help pull your arms back and open your shoulders. Stand up. Now we're going to go one more time with straight legs. So straighten both legs, stand up tall, pull the chest open, push the wrists against that band or strap behind you, and hinge over. Good. Now I should have mentioned this in the beginning, but if you're using a resistance band, use a heavy one. If it's a light one, you'll have too much give. And now hinge here. You're going to feel a big stretch on the inner thigh of the left leg. hinge. Let your head fall back. If you feel like you're leaning too far back, you're in the right spot. Let your head fall forward here. Everything stacked. Your arm, your shoulders, and legs are all in one plane here. And stand up. Good. Shake it out for a second. That right shoulder is going to feel really open. Maybe you're losing a little circulation. Just shake it out. I don't want that to happen. And now your right foot is going to point towards the right wall, and your left foot is going to come in at a 45-degree angle. Now we're going to work on opening that left shoulder. So you start with those straight legs, grounded in the legs. Keep the legs straight as you hinge, sending that left hip towards the left wall, your head towards the right wall, keeping the right side body really long, and the shoulders stacked over one another, head back as you come to this hinged position on the right hand side. You'll feel the big stretch on the inner right thigh, on your left shoulder. If you feel like you can't quite get there, maybe you need to take your feet a little wider. And if you feel like you're going to fall over, take the feet in a little narrower. And stand up. Either way, your heel is lined up, your right heel is lined up with the center of the left foot. We're going to do that again, but this time we're going to bend that right knee. Make sure your knee goes over the middle of the right foot, so in between the second and the third toe. Do a little mini knee bend here just to make sure you know where you're going. And then lean, sending that knee right over the center of your foot. Chest opening, left shoulder back, right knee and right shoulder eventually connecting. But I'm hinging, I'm not leaning. You might not make it here, that's okay. Keep your left shoulder going back, your head going back. You can't bring your head too far back. If you do, you'll just fall over, so you'll know that you've gone too far. And stand up. One more time with straight legs. Chest forward, shoulders back. Hinging over that right leg. Hips, left hip going to the left, head going to the right. Good. Breathe. Keep pulling those hands apart. And stand up. Now bring both your feet facing forward. The outsides of the feet should be parallel with the walls. The inside of your feet and your toes might look like they're pointing in a little bit. From here, you're going to forward fold. First, leaning forward with the flat back, bringing the arms up as far as they can. And then when you can't go any farther with the flat back and your hands can't come any farther, you're going to let yourself fall forward. Big stretch on the backs of the legs and inner thighs. And stand up. Awesome. You can take this off. Now we are going to go on to a little bit of hip stretching because this was all tight and now it is super open. I feel great. And this is all tight because we sit in this tight position that crunches all of your hip flexors up, makes everything really tight, can lead to lower back pain, hip pain, knee pain, all of the above. So grab a pillow if you want to have something nearby to make it soft underneath your knees if your knees are sensitive. And you're going to come to all fours. This isn't where you need the pillow yet. From here, you're going to have your knees underneath your hips, hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, send your butt up and come to a nice tall hiked position in down dog. Straighten your legs. You can hang out here for a second. This is a great stretch, great yoga pose. We're not doing much with it today. We're using it to take your right leg and shoot it in between your hands. Drop that left knee, untuck the toes here. Make sure your right foot is underneath your right knee. Lean on that right knee and come up. Good. Lean into that. Lean forward, stretching the front of the back hip, which is your left hip here. You can sweep your arms up. Get a little back bend here. Continue to open the chest. Keep your ears away from your shoulders, or shoulders away from the ears. And stretching that left front thigh. You're then going to take your hands and frame your foot and take your right hand, reach up to the sky. Bring your right hand down, put it on the inside of the right foot. Reach up, twisting, bracing your right shoulder on the inside of the right knee. Bring your hand down, so now both hands are inside of that right foot. And I'm going to start pushing on my right knee. Now if you have sensitive knees, here is where you either want to fold your yoga mat below your left knee or kneel on it with a pillow. And push that right knee out to the side. And if you can start to work your way down into what is called lizard pose, where both of your forearms are on the ground. It's a huge front of the leg stretch on that back leg. Now, if you have yoga blocks or a book or something, you can lean on that here, or maybe you're on one forearm on the left-hand side and on the right palm. Either way, work your way back up. Come back up to the top of that low lunge, and if you want an even bigger stretch, take your right hand, kick the left leg back and grab onto that left foot. Now you're going to get an even bigger stretch on the front of that left thigh. Let the foot come down, frame the feet with the front foot with your hand, tuck the back toes. Come back into a down dog, and we're going to take the whole thing on the other side. So now take your left leg up and sweep it in between your hands. If you didn't get it there, use your hand to plop it there. Drop the right knee, untuck the right toes, and start to stretch out the front of that right hip. Come up, lean forward. Get a big opening of the right hip. Make sure your ankle is underneath your knee in the front. Sweep the arms up. Small back bend. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. You're going to take your right hand onto the floor. Reach your left hand up in the sky. Big twist of the upper back. All of this twisting is helping to loosen up all of that tightness you get in the upper back from straining over the computer and phone all day. Take your left hand, put it inside the left foot, and brace your left shoulder on your left knee as you twist the other way. If your back cracks, you might get a big back crack here. Now with both hands on the floor in front of you, take your left hand and push on that left knee to open it up. You're going to go ahead and get a bigger stretch in the front of that right thigh, right hip. And now start working your way onto your forearms if you can. If you can't, no big deal. My inside arm, the arm that's on the same side as the leg in the front, it doesn't make it there. It's okay. You can have your forearm on the outside and your palm on the inside. Little gentle rocking. And work your way back up. So here, if you want, you're going to take your left hand, bend your right back leg, and grab onto that foot. Try not to wobble or fall too much. And get a big stretch on that back leg. If you can't do this, do not worry. Just keep that back leg down. If you feel a big grinding on your kneecap, you're not far enough forward. You want to be on the quad or thigh part of the leg. Good. Let go of that leg. Frame your foot with your hands. Tuck the back toes. Come back to a down dog. Walk the hands and feet together and stand up. One more thigh stretch for you. Quad stretch, hip stretch, if you will. You're going to get a couch, or you're going to go over to your couch or grab a chair. You can even do this on the wall, but it'll be hard to see. And your pillow. I highly endorse a pillow for this. We're going to do what's called the couch stretch. Again, you can do it on anything. So, I'll show you with it on this side. You're going to take one leg, one foot, and you're going to put the top of the foot on the seat. You're gonna hop your other foot pretty far forward, and then you're gonna bend that grounded leg so your knee comes onto the floor or the pillow. Then the foot that's on the ground, you're gonna make sure you get that foot underneath the knee. This knee is right underneath my hip. And here I'm not lunging forward. I am staying up as straight as humanly possible, tucking my pelvis, keeping this nice long line, opening up the front of my thigh as much as I can. If you want to get a bigger stretch, you take your left hand, you grab the right knee, take your right hand, put it on your foot, the chair, the wall behind you, and you can turn, opening this up even more. Now, if you wanted to do this on the wall, what you'll do is you'll just get the top of your foot flush against the wall, so it would be more like that rather than that. And then to come out of it, you're just going to lean forward and get your foot untucked. And then we'll do the other side. So get the top of that foot on top of your chair or couch, or if you're going to be on the wall, you're just going to need to start a little lower. And then we bend the front knee, get that back knee onto the ground. Make sure my ankle is under my knee on the front leg. And again, up super nice and tall, super upright. Tucking the pelvis, think of like squeezing the butt cheek of that leg that's down, of the knee that's on the pillow or the ground, and opening the tight front of the leg. And then again, I can take my right hand on my left knee, my right hand on the chair behind me, and get a big twist. So I'm twisting my body towards the leg that's on the floor, towards the grounded foot, not the foot that's on the chair. Opening the chest as I twist. That is it for these shoulder, chest, neck, and hip stretches. I hope that you followed along until the end and that you got a ton of benefit out of these. I feel better for one. This is a great reminder to do this all the time. I would say if you're feeling tight and sore and just like things are kind of funky, give this stretching series a try 3 times a week. I promise you will feel better. And please message me if you have any questions about it at all. I know these are some of these are more advanced exercises or stretches, and I'm totally here to answer questions for you. Good luck, and I hope you